Hello world, my name is Ihor, welcome to my studio. In today's video I've got Ableton Push 3 standalone version and I would like to make a beat from scratch on Ableton Push 3 using my own sample packs. I'm gonna use BIA Techno Kicks sample pack for a kick drum and then the Zaps Random Loops sample pack for loops. And this is one of my favorite techniques to actually use loops, to try to find different timbre content, rhythmic content inside of the loops and then try to feed them into one composition. Hopefully that's going to be something interesting and inspiring for you. And by the way, these sample packs are available on my Patreon page. And a quick disclaimer, Ableton has sent this unit to my studio to try it out and I'm going to be sending it back. But there was no money exchange and they also have no say on the content of this video. Actually, no company has sponsored this video, but it is supported by those of you who subscribe to my Patreon page. Check the link in the description to learn more, and I really appreciate your support. Thank you. Without further ado, let's get started. And yeah, as of now, you can see my toy empty project, which is a rainbow project. So I'm gonna keep these MIDI tracks over here, the 4 of them, and these 4 I'm gonna remove, because on this side, I would like to use audio tracks. And on this side, I would like to use MIDI tracks. And also I'm gonna remove all these clips, which are actually empty. And we're gonna go into our first track. Actually, let's remove this. We don't need that because Push is battery powered, right? So let's go into the first track. And here I would like to go into the user library and load the kick drum from my BIA Techno Kicks sample pack. There is like many. They are mainly for techno. And I'm gonna be using this one. I specifically made those kick drums very long. Let's put accent so that we can then use and shorten them if needed. So I'm gonna go into one-shot mode and create fade out. Maybe even shorter and darker a little bit. Cool. Let's get into the sequencer. I think this one will do. Yeah, I like it here. So we can pretty much start. And then I would like to double this loop and switch to the second bar over here and make it a little different. Maybe I just can stop and by holding this one and going into the clip mode, we can change the velocities. Just let's make it a little bit quieter. This is on the 3rd bar and this one, or actually in the 4th bar, and this one is on the 2nd bar. Yeah, at the 2nd bar, actually, I would like to add additional kick drum, and that's gonna be something maybe here. Let's have a listen. Yeah, and also lower the velocity a little. What about this one? Yeah, and this one should be very low, something like 50 or 60. Yeah, I like it. And now I'm gonna go and add audio track, and on the audio track, we're gonna load an audio sample, and not the device or not MIDI, but just a sample, like a clip. Again, from my own sample packs, advertising sample packs heavily. So these are like Zap loops. So what I would like to find right now is something groovy so that we can loop some part of it and then have it sort of like a bass line. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for this one. And right now, if I go into the clip mode, we have an entire sample loaded. And if we launch it, I think I'm gonna go for a little slower tempo, maybe 105. Obviously, it should be much quieter. So right now it's 16 bars, and they're actually in the loop. What we can do, we can decrease the loop length to, let's say, 1 bar or 2 bars, and then we can scroll through different parts of the sample or of the loop itself. It's a very long loop, so there is a lot of like different sonic content in it. But we have to use low pass filter to make it a little bit more like low endy. So I'm gonna go for and add auto filter. So this sample is loaded as a sample, like as a loop, as an audio file on Ableton. So we don't have a simpler or sampler handling it. That's why we can add different effects. But in simpler, I usually go for an internal effect. We can also record this automation of the filter, I believe. Just to get this filter moving a little bit. Maybe some overdrive, MS2. Or actually, let's keep it very, very dry. Another thing I would like to add is a little compressor. So audio effects. Yeah, let's put some. Yeah, let's go for normal compressor because it has also visual representation. Just to make it a touch quieter with the compressor, but then keep the quieter sounds a bit louder, sort of. So I think it's good for now. Another thing we can do right after it is to add another compressor for sidechain compression. This is like debatable whether it's a mixing technique or creative technique, but I think at this stage I really need it to feel the groove better. So I'm gonna enable the sidechain over here, sidechain EQ. Yeah, let's go to something like 100 Hertz on the high pass filter, just to have a bit more cleaner kick drum. And here is okay. So we have already kick drum going here, right? So let's switch to the pick, obviously, and then okay. Quite heavily sidechaining right now. And the next thing I would like to do is to add snare drum and some percussion. So for this, we can use a MIDI track and then load the device. Actually, we're going to load the sample again from the zaps and zap random loops, and use this sample to chop it and find maybe some snare drums or some additional percussive drums and stuff like this. So let's have a listen where we can find something interesting. I think here, that one is perfect. So again, we have an entire loop loaded over here, and if we can go here, it plays like a one-shot or classic mode, so basically gated. But here we can switch the mode into slicing. And there are different slicing techniques or functions that Push can do, and Ableton Live as well. So slice by transient, by beat, and by region or manual. I think we can go either for transient or for beat. let's actually try the beat, because I'm pretty sure, actually I know that these samples are recorded on 16th bass, like 16th note bass, and I don't think there was any groove or any kind of like swing applied. So we can be safe if we divide 64 samples or 64 slices by 16th of the note over here, and we get all kinds of different stuff going. Also, I'm gonna enable poly so that two of the slices or several slices can play together. Let's have a listen. Okay, that's gonna work, I believe. Very simple pattern, but we can create variation as well. Sequencer on the push is very underrated. I think it's extremely cool. So you have the sequencer, the steps themselves, then you have different sounds like a drum rack over here, and then you have pages that you can switch, and everything on one screen per se, right? So we can go and like double the loop over here. Or actually we can shorten it and then click double and it's gonna copy. Yeah. Let's switch here, and then velocity can go back. That's cheesy. Let's try to find another sound. Actually, before finding another sound, what we can do is duplicate the snare in that, or the clip itself, and then launch another clip, go back to sequencer, and now we have a clip with just snare and clip with some variation of it. Okay, we can record this one, or just put it here. But I think just like this. And then just, yeah, let's duplicate this one right here. Does it work like that? Not really. That's PT, but whatever. So we can just put it here as well. And then again, we can go back to here and duplicate this clip as well and add some other variation to it. We can also switch the samples. Okay, that one can go into here, I think. And let's go and process this a little bit. So here we have this one loaded into the Simpler. And Simpler already allows us to use quite a lot of things inside of it. So we can go into the filter. For example, we can high pass the whole thing. overdrive. On the global, we can... Let's actually overdrive with MS2. Go back here. And maybe outside of the simpler, we can go and add reverb. So I want to have a bit of like room reverb to make it a bit more spacious. Audio effects, reverb, just normal Ableton reverb, room. There was a drum room somewhere. Yes, right here. Yeah. Okay, that will do. Maybe we can increase the loudness of our loop a little. And then go back here. Yeah, I think that will do for now. I actually like it so far, but we are missing a bit of like high frequencies right now. So we have kick drum, which is low, and then the groove itself, and then snare, which gives a bit of energy, but not too much. So what we can do, we can go again here and add another audio track, default track, clip view, and then load a sample from the devices, from user library. And I can try to find another zap loop. I think this one. And then we can high pass, try to find again like the looping section, high pass, and use it to cover the sort of like tops or highs. Again, we can go here. We can see that this whole thing is very long. Can make it 1 bar or even less than that. We can actually go and make it 3 beats. And let's have a listen without anything. I think that's gonna be cool, but let's... Yeah, let's say this. Not bad actually, but then again, it's super loud. And since it's 3 beats, it creates this kind of like polymetric effect already. So back to devices, we don't have simpler here, that's why we can add an audio effect. And that's gonna be auto filter to filter the tops. Distortion. It's way too loud. Maybe we can make it a bit more spacious as well by adding Auto Pan. I think it has an LFO inside of it, which we can utilize. Yes, obviously. So Next one, well, it can be compressor, because I think we can compress the highs a little bit. What else? We can also add, you know what, like before we go there, I think I would move compressor before the autopan. I'm not sure if it makes sense, but whatever. So, in the devices, again, audio effects. Let's go for chorus. Okay. Slow one. With some feedback. I would also add some reverb. Well, I like how it sounds actually. It's too loud though, but let's see. We can go into the hole reverb, dark hole. And then add another audio effect, which is, guess what's gonna be? Sidechain compressor. Again, we added compressor right after reverb and everything, so we can go a bit more crazy with reverb. And now I can actually go and make it touch louder. So over here. Let's have a listen to how it sounds. I think it sounds great. Okay, let's go to this MIDI track and try to find some other percussive sound. And we can load another MIDI, or actually sample, which is going to be converted into simpler, and we can again chop it up. I want to capture this one for sure. I'm gonna go, I think, on the sequencer mode. Let's switch it here. Yeah, it's somewhere here. But not that loud. Okay, that's gonna work. Let's go and create variation of this one. So we duplicate this one. Nice. Let's duplicate again. Let's duplicate again. So I duplicated the scene, but that's fine. And then, like, you can go crazy. That's what I was talking about. Like, you can create so many variations of this with all these chops and whatever. We can also go and add some processing into it. Again, I'm gonna go into simpler. Inside of the simpler, there is filter. I wanna do high pass just for mixing purposes, not to have all the low-endy stuff in it. Maybe some distortion or overdrive. We obviously want to compress this a little, so I'm gonna go back here and then add compressor. Inside of the simpler, I believe we have LFO going into panning, so we can also add some randomness to panning, spread. And then I also would like to make it a touch quieter. Maybe not in the simpler because we have compressor after it. Let's compress it a bit more. Yeah, I think that's cool so far. As of now, we have variations on these clips. We don't really have variation on the kick drum, which is fine. But there is another way to create variations with loops, actually. So this loop of our groovy thing, let me make it a little bit more obvious. So this one over here, let me select it. So it's just 1 or 2 bars playing. And we also have the recording of the automation preserved on the clip level. And that's where I like to duplicate this clip again, and we can just go and use the position into some different part of the loop. So we have automation still, but we are playing different part of the loop. And we have all the processing applied already, and we can go like this, like crazy. Whatever like sounds good, it sounds good. You can quote me on that. Obviously, the loop is within one loop, it's gonna sound cohesive, and yeah. But we also can go a bit crazy and try to find like, oh, I like this one a lot. But that's the default one. That's why I like it a lot. So slight variation of the groove is happening. And then playing live, you can just go and launch different clips and have them changing, you know? Same goes to this one. And this one I think even gonna be more significant if we change something. So let's have a listen. Nice. Or we can go for, with the shift, we can go for 1 bar. So make it not polymetric, but like on grid. And so on. Let's go into the master devices. We have limiter here, which is perfect. I would like to add glue compressor. That's where I'm gonna do the I wish, because glue compressor has this beautiful graphics inside of Ableton, which I like. No, I mean, it's not very beautiful graphics, but it has this arrow, you know, that shows the level of compression and stuff, and I like it. And I know you have to compress by ears and whatever, but sometimes it's good to see what's happening. Do we have sidechain EQ enabled? EQ on. Oh yes. Sidechain EQ on. I think we have a bit too much makeup. Yeah, that will do. I think that's pretty much it for today's video, and I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope you've learned something new for yourself that you can apply to your own music production workflow, or at least got inspired to go and make music. There are several ways to support this channel. First of all, you can like this video, leave a comment down below and hit this subscribe and bell buttons. All this really helps to push this video to the larger audience and this channel to grow. And if you're considering to support this channel financially, the best way is to subscribe to my Patreon page. Check the link in the description down below to learn more. Also, you can leave a tip by just hitting this super thanks button with a $sign somewhere over there. If you're considering to purchase any gear that I feature in my videos, or pretty much any gear, you can also use affiliate links in the description. Thanks for watching, and until the next time, have fun.